Freethinkers.
Yes.
Ep.3, I believe.
Yes.
My name is Adam, and your name is?
And my name is Hugo.
Yes, and what are we doing today, Hugo?
Today we are continuing on our fantastic journey of tier listing different ideologies.
Yes, this is obviously not controversial in any way possible.
No.
This is obviously a great thing.
It's a great thing.
If you haven't watched the first episode, go back and watch it. I think it's episode 2.
Yes.
Well, should we start then? Should we start with Christian democracy?
Christian democracy. Well, yes. Very interesting.
Very
I guess that's just Western, or at least some. Or what do you think? Like
Christian democracy, I identify that as there is no separation between the state and the church. That they're intertwined. That the state directly controls the church. Which is an idea where I'm very much against. I think that no matter what the religion or what the country, I think that there should be a separation between religion and
the state.
And the state.
Politics.
Yeah, because you have these 2,000-year-old ideas intertwining with modern problems, and modern, as the meme says, modern problem requires modern solutions.
Yeah. And I can agree with that, since religion and politics and religion shouldn't in any way have a say in what we do in our day-to-day lives. And since we are in our modern society, we have so many people with so many different religions and backgrounds, it's impossible to have it.
Exactly, and so, especially in a more developed society where always is a lot more multicultural.
Yeah.
So you can't only limit it to one religion, even if it is the most followed religion.
But here comes the question of where we should put it.
Yeah, this can be placed anywhere depending on the person.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's a D tier.
Yeah, since I mean it's a bad idea now. It's a bad idea on paper and in practice.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think it's better than anarchism?
I mean, anarchism is it's a stateless society.
Yes.
So would that be better than having at least some form of a state? But it's very one-sided.
Yeah,
it's a Christian democracy, not a Muslim or Buddhist.
Yeah, we'll get into those as well.
The problem is also, since there's also a difference between what religion you follow and what cultural group you identify with, and there's so many different, so it's I don't know, it's hard.
For me, I think personally it should be placed above monarchism but below gender accelerationism.
Yeah, probably.
Because I think monarchism is a lot more controlled, whilst Christian democracy can be sort of bent a bit, yeah. And I don't think anarchism is good in general, but I don't think it's in the same tier as QAnon and Nazism.
No. Those can stay in the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that one's a bit interesting, perhaps.
Would you like to explain what we're looking at?
It's really weird. I think it's Turkish Republicanism in a way.
I think that's a very, very weird thing, but all right, go ahead. Explain their ideas.
Kemalism. Yeah. It's this weird idea that, well, since we're talking before the Second World War, in which Turkey is in a very precarious situation where they have just gone through this independence war, and they now have to decide on if they should stay neutral or if they should pick a side once again. And I guess that's since when Ataturk came to the scene, he kind of established the idea of Kemalism, in the sense that they should rebuild the Turkish identity and make it more Western.
Yeah, I mean, forgive me if I'm not an expert on the Turkish politics here, but
no, me neither.
But is this then a complete opposite of Erdogan's regime?
Yes.
Okay, that explains a lot more then.
More or less. and it's like it's very Republican and it's neutral in many ways. It's like I don't know. It's
a Turkish centrism.
Yeah, more or less, yes.
All right, sounds interesting. Where would you place this? I don't really feel too confident on my decision making, but on paper it sounds like a C tier to me.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's like if you would put the like ideology in like in a normal, if we wouldn't have it, if we wouldn't talk about Turkey like some other country, like Kemalism is, but it's very isolationist, I think, and as we've talked about in our modern society, it isn't really progressive to be isolationist.
Yeah, but yeah, I think C is perfect then because it seems to be a good idea on paper, but bad in practice.
Yes. So I guess below autonomism.
I think that's a good idea. Actually, I wouldn't be too mad if it was above or below. I think they're quite interchangeable. But I definitely think it's below conservatism.
Yeah.
Are we happy with that then?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, next one then. Shall we go with also for those with visual impairment? We have a huge list of stuff in front of us, so
yeah, there's a
lot to choose from.
There's a lot of.
Oh, we haven't done this one yet. This is quite a popular one.
Liberalism. Oh, how did we forget that one?
That's new. That's a
how did we not see this?
Oh,
fantastic thing.
Yeah.
Or I mean, we don't have any opinions here.
Of course. But would you like to explain?
Well, liberalism. Well, like we said, like it's the independence of the individual from the state.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, it's
about free markets. And
yeah,
stuff.
it's a lot more capitalistic than communistic. But liberalists also tend to enjoy the freedom of being an individual.
Yeah.
However, I think the downfall on that is if we as a society are focused on individuals more so than groups of people. I think that's eventually a downfall because you can't focus solely on a couple of people. I think you have to solely focus on the entire country or the entire nation or whatever you control. So I think I don't think it's that great, but I don't think it's that bad either.
No.
I don't think it works in certain situations actually.
And I can agree on the point that it becomes very, especially since we are a growing population still, it's pretty hard to like put every individual first. It's very hard, even though we should strive to try to at least.
Yeah.
But of course, it's
impossible to do that.
Yeah.
Where would you place this then?
I mean,
for me, it's between B and C.
Yeah. I think it would go above liberalism. No, conservatism.
In C tier?
In the B tier.
Low B tier. Either for me, it's either bottom of B tier or top of C tier.
I actually think so.
Bottom of B tier?
Yeah, probably. Or at least that's what I'm thinking. But
yeah, I can agree with that. Honestly,
I mean, it's not that like liberalism would, in the long term, devastate us too much. Like,
no, I don't think it's that bad of an idea either. I think that in the long term, yeah.
But of course,
I think it works a lot better than conservatism.
I think perhaps maybe liberalism is a sometimes short-term solution to many problems.
Yeah, and I think that's okay to have
like a balance.
Yeah,
I mean, the liberals are like the midpoint, the like the balancing factor.
Yeah. All right, now on to this one.
Oh,
Neo-Confederate.
Oh, fantastic!
I can explain this one. The Confederate States of America being a former nation, having a lot of beliefs in a lot of the right-wing stuff, owning slaves and whatnot.
Yeah.
And Neo-Confederatism is very, very popular in the deep South states of America. It's had a lot of resurgence recently, though, especially after the integration of Donald Trump in American society. But
yeah.
So what do you think about this? I think it's,
well, I mean, it's it wouldn't work. It's not like it's not a functional.
And I'm quite heavily against the idea of having slaves.
Yeah, let's just put it like
top of F tier.
Yeah, I guess.
Impossible and immoral.
Yeah, because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, do you think it needs a little more discussion? I mean, it's
like I guess they still follow the old views of America, but it's also really weird at the same time, since the like what is I think it's the Constitution. In the American Constitution, it says like every free man, or every man has the right to
be a free man.
To be a free man. But the Confederacy they didn't follow it at all.
Yeah.
They went against it. Oh Jesus, there's a lot of interesting things here.
I think this one is quite
Islamic fundamentalism.
Yeah. Well,
or should we take that one?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting. I think personally, Islamic fundament. I mean, to what is at least it's following the laws of Islam and the law of Sharia, I think it's called, and the basics of Islam, and you follow the words of God in the sense of Islamic fundamentalism. So you follow the words of God, and as I've said before, which we said with Christian democracy, I don't think state and religion should be intertwined. So I think this is quick and easy for me, at least. I think it should be placed roughly around the same as Christian democracy.
Yeah, and I agree. It's the same thing as Christian democracy, since, again, like you said, like the religion and state has to be separate things.
Yeah.
And if you're taking if the entire if the state is based upon a religious scripture, it wouldn't really I mean, it would work, of course, but would it be ethical for everyone?
No, I don't think so. I think that personally, I think it's better than monarchism and monarchism, because that's basically leaders controlling. But I think it's worse than gender accelerationism. So it's right next to Christian democracy. The reason why I put Christian democracy above Islamic fundamentalism is because with fundamentalism, it states that I believe that you should be a descendant of Muhammad to be a leader.
To be a leader.
Yes, whilst Christian democracy is a lot more democratic, at least.
So that would be in a sense, a bit like monarchism, since you're more or less putting a figurehead as the leader of a nation, without people, voting for someone.
Yeah, and that's why I believe Christian democracy to be over fundamentalism, because with democracy, at least you have some sort of option in who you
choose as leader.
Yeah, exactly. Are we happy with that then?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Do you see anything interesting here then?
I see a lot of interesting things.
Which one is catching your eye the most here?
Well, they're all interesting. I think if we talk about this, we'd talk about a lot of history.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to take that one? Because you're such a history nerd. I mean,
we both like history here. Well, Leninism. I'm not quite sure exactly what's put
Well, Lenin's ideas were a lot more the start of. I think Lenin is essentially one of the godfathers of workers' rights and unions and whatnot, I believe.
But he wanted to truly envision Marx's ideas.
Yeah, and I think we talked about Marxism before as well. Have we?
I'm not quite sure.
I don't think we have. No. We will take it right after this one then.
And perhaps
Stalinism.
A bit of Stalinism.
But I think Leninism is. Lenin tried to indoctrinate a lot of the ideas that Marx had. I think, as we said before, it's It's a good idea on paper, bad in practice. I don't think communism works that well in
No.
practice. I talked about it with Titoism, quite a lot last episode.
Yeah.
However, I definitely think that Titoism is better than Leninism.
Yeah, I mean, it worked fantastically. I mean, since there was, I mean, and still are, so like it's like the diversity in the Balkans, and he was able to like actually unify that, even though it was during his like life, but still.
Yeah, but the same goes for Lenin, I think, as well, because Lenin managed to at least have a country united, even though there is a lot more diversity there, because you have the Eastern Asians, you know, and then you have the basic Slavs, and then you have these, you know, the people down in Dagestan and Chechnya who are a lot more, I suppose, towards the Arabic side. So there's a lot more diversity, I think, in Leninism and the USSR. But I think where Lenin failed a lot was obviously integrating his ideas.
Yeah. And also he was like, I mean,
I think I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna put it back for originally put it Titoism, but I think for me Leninism is at a top of D tier. Yeah. Actually, no, not top. I think it's below.
It's hard. I mean, let's. I don't know. This is getting really complicated.
All right, let's start with the tier. Let's start with the tier. C or D?
Yeah. It's.
I think it's D tier, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Do you think it's better than Islamic and Christian?
It's just that, like, well, like Leninism. I mean, Lenin didn't want a central power really to control like the nation.
But that's what happened in the end. I mean,
yeah, but it wasn't because of him. It was, but of course the development led to it. So of course it didn't work. But yeah, I would probably put it behind gender accelerationism.
Above Christian democracy? And
it's still democracy though. But
Leninism or for me, I think it's either.
Like, I mean, we should probably put it like above monarchism. Let's just put it there and be.
Yeah, okay, in between monarchism and Islamic fundamentalism, right?
Yeah.
Which leads us quite nicely into to this one. I think. Actually, now this is
Jesus.
There is a lot of, because we have Marxism, but we can have Marxism, Leninism, Maoism, Marxism, Leninism, or Marxist humanism, or I believe this or not. No, never mind.
Or just Maoism.
Yeah, Maoism. Well, do you wanna?
Should I pick? Or
yeah, pick which one do you want?
Well, I mean, Marxism, Leninism is.
Actually, I think if we pick Marxism, Leninism, and Maoism, we can sum up communism as a whole.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, again, like we discussed, it's about workers' rights and wealth.
I think as we discussed before, I think it's right.
But I mean, Marx's ideas were more. I mean, it was more like a envision of what utopia would look like for like the final stage in human development.
Yeah, but we also have to remember that Maoism and Leninism and Marxism and Stalinism as well.
Yeah,
a lot of that led to starvation and genocide, and
they were really destructive.
Yeah, in their own right. So I don't think it's that great. I mean, you could even, I think some people could even argue an F tier in this case, but for me, I think it's perhaps. I
mean, it's
a D tier or F tier in my opinion, but I think it's a D tier.
It's just that the ideology is so self-destructive.
Yeah,
that's the question. If you would put it even below anarchism, which is a stateless society.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
It's just that, you know, you can either choose to not have a state at all, or you can have a state which pretty much oppresses you your whole life, and you are not able to even say your own thoughts, because then you will be constrained.
Yeah. I mean, where would you like to put it?
Probably where it is now, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's quite so. Bottom of D tier. Yeah. Now I'm gonna pick one which has a kind of close relation to
Oh yeah, you were looking at something there. I have no
Yeah,
idea what
I
that
just
is.
wanted to make sure that I remember correctly here with.
Is that Croatian or?
Yeah, it's the Croatian Revolutionary Movement, also known as Ustaše.
Oh.
Ustaše being a popular group, a lot of like, have you heard about partisans?
Yeah, partisans.
Yeah. So you have partisans, which were the Serbian people, or the Serbian super nationalists.
Yeah.
When I talk now, it's not only nationalism; it's a step above nationalism.
Oh.
And Ustaše is the same, but for Croatia.
Mm.
So during the Yugoslav war, the Ustaše had a lot of control. The Ustaše were basically the Croatian Nazis.
Mm.
Is a great way to put it.
Mm.
They massacred anyone who they thought deserved to be who they thought were against the Croatian state.
Mm.
So a lot of Serbians, a lot of Romanians, and a lot of Jews, and a lot of Romis, I think they're now called. So yeah, it was ethnic cleansing in its own way. They also have a lot of right wing, very very close to Hitler's ideals.
Weren't they like weren't those the people that Hitler kind of installed in Croatia?
Yeah, in Yugoslavia, he because Ustaše already existed pre-Hitler, but they kind of just adopted. But they kind of just Hitler kind of realized that these guys have very very similar worldviews to what I have, so I'm just gonna let them keep the power in Yugoslavia.
Yeah,
for that time. So yeah, I mean,
again, it's let's just.
I think it's an easy F tier.
Yeah.
I think it's below QAnon.
Yeah, since I mean it's about it's genocide.
Yeah, I'm just thinking now. I think QAnon goes above neo-Confederatism.
Yeah, I mean QAnon is like
it's like the least of the worst.
Yeah.
But Ustaše, I think goes above Nazism because I don't think anyone can be as bad as Nazism. But I don't think it goes above neo-Confederatism because I think genocide is worse than slavery, which is a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously bad as fuck, but that's just. I think we're.
Let's keep it there in the darkest pits.
In the darkest pits of hell.
Yeah.
I think we can do one last one before we have to go, right?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Is there anything here that excites you?
There's a lot of anarchy stuff. I don't really.
Yeah, it's because we're close to the top. It's in alphabetical order.
Iron Guard. Have you heard about that?
I haven't actually. Would you like to play?
It's about but it's the same thing as with the Croatian stuff, but it's in Romania instead.
I think we've been lacking one high tier one. Actually, I think we should pick something.
Yeah, we should probably see if we can find something that we find. What is that?
Xenofeminism?
Yeah, is that just
it's basically white woman feminism.
Oh, okay. Oh, pirate politics. That would probably be an S tier.
I don't know. I don't think there's a lot that can go very, very high in the taste range. I mean, perhaps, depending on. It depends on worldviews and whatnot. But I think this one.
Socialism.
Yeah, I think that one can be quite rather high in rankings.
Yeah, I also.
Would you like to explain what it is?
Democratic socialism.
Yeah.
Isn't it more or less like the Swedish model?
Not quite, because Sweden also incorporates a lot more capitalistic ideas. Well, so
it's more.
Imagine,
workers' rights.
Yeah, sort of. It incorporates, but it's also kind of against capitalism in some sense, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
But it's not entirely communistic either. I mean, I think the closest thing we have to the democratic socialist state is Greenland, and by extension also Denmark to some extent.
Yeah.
Their ideas is obviously very close to the Nordic model, which is it's a lot about welfare. It's a lot about paying a lot of taxes and getting it returned in in more beneficial ways to society.
And also, I guess when it comes to like class differences, that it's more of a I guess
Utopia.
Yeah, since you can like earn a lot of money.
It doesn't have the downfalls of communism.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I would agree that it would.
Yeah, I think for me it's B tier.
Probably like below social democracy or above, perhaps. It's kind of hard.
I think it's because I think it's above greenism. But I think it's below social democracy because social democracy is still because that incorporates capitalistic ideals, which is something I quite enjoyed, but at least with workers' rights and unions, whilst democratic socialism strays away from free trade and therefore will fail the market and the economy. So I think that's almost a perfect tier for it.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I would probably agree with that one. It's just that I'm kind of conflicted whether it would be above or below social democracy.
Well, but I just explained why I put it above social democracy.
But I would agree that social democracy is
more beneficial for the economy.
Yes, and it is as it's shown, it's a very beneficial long-term ideology.
Yeah.
In many ways. So yeah.
But also, I think as we look at democratic socialism in Venezuela, they tried to do that for a while, and it went great up until the leader was assassinated, and then someone else took over, and then they went to shit. I mean, which is obviously evident by today's issues in Venezuela. But yeah, no, I think this is a good tier for it. Would you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you
put
it that way, I would probably agree on it.
Yeah.
Since social democracy is such a stable ideology in itself. So.
Yeah. I think that's it then.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, that's our ideas of different ideologies.
Yeah, I think we'll maybe continue this perhaps as well. I mean, there's still a couple big players here.
Yeah, we still have something like
illegalism. We have pirate politics. We have dark enlightenment.
There's a lot of different weird ones.
Yeah, and I think yeah, once we're done with this, we're gonna look back at it and see how perhaps we think politically as well.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a would you say growing moment for us? I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's
developing.
Yeah. But we thank you for listening to today's podcast of Freethinkers. I have been Alan.
And I have been Hugo.
And have a good day.
Also, just one quick thing. Should we probably also say that like in the future we are also planning on doing a donation.
Yeah. I think yeah.
So
perhaps we can put it as a disclaimer in the beginning.
Perhaps. Okay, well, thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you. I meant